Hello, Nomads, and welcome to the Nomads of Fantasy podcast, episode 140. Tonight, I have with me one hero, David.
No shooting friends, Eric.
Oh, yeah, that's just something to live by, you know.
I changed it for you. Yeah, it's a good lesson from Mom.
And I also have one villain, Brandon.
The kids call me Mr. Glass.
There you go.
Why? I don't get it.
I don't get it. Well, the host doesn't normally do this, but I have a quote because I think this is a powerful quote that sums up a lot of the movie and the motivation specifically behind one of the main characters in this movie. You know what the scariest thing is? To not know your place in this world, to not know why you're here. It's just an awful feeling. I wrote that quote down when I heard it.
Yeah.
Yep. Because I'm like, damn.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That is a good one.
Elijah has a bunch of good
right
ones.
out there.
Yes.
Yep. But yeah, if you don't know what quote these movies are from, we're talking about Unbreakable. We are continuing the year of Bruce. We've done
Bruce.
Let's see, we've done Sin City, we've done Looper, we've done Die Hard with a Vengeance. Now we're doing Unbreakable. So this, I'm just thinking this will probably be our last movie in the year of Bruce.
I never know.
You never know. I mean, we got a couple more.
We gotta do at least one more.
I mean, I'm down with doing
I mean,
at least one.
He'll
more.
always be on the show, but
oh yeah,
I think we could do one more for the guy for sure. It's probably Die Hard 2.
yeah.
You know, I think it takes place around like New Year's Day or something like that. I think it's a Christmas.
I would
New Year's
cold.
movie.
I'd do Die Hard too. I haven't seen it. To this
we'll
point,
watch it around that time,
I've
maybe.
only seen the first and the third ones on the show.
Prime
so.
Bruce before he started mailing it in on some of his movies.
Yeah, it's true.
but
This one, though.
Yeah, this one.
Well, he's putting it out there.
If you don't know, if you're unfamiliar with Unbreakable, this came out in the year 2000.
I didn't know it was that old. I remember seeing it, but like, wow, was it really back that far?
Man. Yep, it's a thriller. I mean, they call it a superhero thriller, which again, we'll get into that because it's an interesting concept. But directed by one M. Night Shyamalan, which I actually forgot.
Is this his debut on the Nomads of Fantasy? Is this the first time?
Is it? It might.
Have we?
Be.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, it might be.
I don't think we've done any of his movies.
Yep. Yeah, it might be.
Watch Signs again.
Yeah. Unbreakable, starring the aforementioned Bruce Willis and Samuel L. Jackson, of course. This one actually,
and Robin Wright, I think, right?
Oh yeah, as Audrey. Yep, his wife there. So yeah, surprisingly, I guess I didn't really know anything around like the reception of this movie, but budget $75 million, box office 248.1 million. So I mean, this movie did pretty good when it came out.
This is riding off of the success of The Sixth Sense.
This is right in M. Night Shyamalan day, like peak.
Overnight.
Peak.
And Bruce Willis just like blew up. He was always been a big hit, like a big star, but you know, like the guy this is why we're dedicating like this year to him, because the guy has an incredible portfolio of great work, and this was in his late 40s maybe when he did this.
M. Night? I guess I don't know.
No,
how
I'm saying
old.
Bruce Willis.
You're saying
like,
Bruce Willis.
Yeah.
Okay.
He kept going. Like when you get older, you might lose some roles, but like he was
45 when he made this movie. So
okay, yeah. So he's yeah, man. Turning 44 in a few months, and that's just like that's wild. I'm gonna be anywho.
Well,
but good for him. Good for him. He's a good pairing with M. Night Shyamalan.
I was pushing hard to bring this movie on the show for the year of Bruce because this one, this is a good one for me because I mean I watched it when I was a kid, and I feel like I didn't really understand it fully what was going on. I feel like it went a little bit over my head, and then I watched it like I want to say like I don't know. It was a while. At this point, it was probably like 10 years ago. But on that watch, I was like, wow, this movie's great. But the weird thing is, before I rewatched Unbreakable, actually, it might have been right at the time where the other movies in this cinematic universe of Unbreakable released, because there's you guys know about the other movies, right? 'Cause there's Split and Glass.
Yeah.
Which so
in
Split,
that order.
yeah, so Split came out in like 2015. So that was probably around the time that I rewatched Unbreakable, but
A surprise sequel that
they
nobody
didn't
knew was
right.
going to be.
They didn't advertise it as
following.
a sequel to Unbreakable. Like they just had like a stinger. Like at the end, they showed David Dunn. He just happened to show up in the movie. But Split was actually really good. I kind of want to rewatch that now.
I heard good. I heard that
Glass,
was good. I haven't seen it.
not so good. I saw that in the theaters as well.
I know. I heard it was. I heard that one's really bad.
It's got the whole team. It's
Yep.
Yeah, it's got all of them together in that one.
Really?
Yeah, so that's the one that kind of like brings everybody together, because like this one, Unbreakable, is the story of, you know, David and Elijah, and then they bring in Kevin, I think is the guy's name, from Split, who's got like the 23 different personalities. But then like one of the personalities is like this superhuman, like beast, animalistic, crazy dude.
Okay.
So like that story is about him, and then at the third one, they kind of bring it all together, but just did not land very well with
That's
Glass.
what I heard. That's what I heard. That's
unfortunately.
That's
But this movie that we're talking about,
Unbreakable.
I think it's really cool. I think it's a very interesting and unique take on a superhero story. You know, something that I've never really seen before. A more realistic take as well, which I really appreciated. But
this was before all the superhero stuff started. It's hard to imagine a time before the Marvels happened, and this was a good 6-7 years before Iron Man,
because Aaron had 10 years of origin stories.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
I hadn't seen this since it came out. I remember watching it with a girlfriend and like not really paying attention to it and thinking that it was kind of boring the first time, but this time watching it, I kind of blew my mind. Like it was fantastic. Like the shots in it, like even from just like cinematic perspectives, like he's doing all sorts of cool shit with the camera.
That's all I said. Is all of my notes were about the camera work, not the story. The story is great. The camera work, Dave, please.
It's
talk about
we'll get into that in detail, but I mean, I was coming back to it, like I probably haven't seen this in a good 20 years, so I was super happy with the output.
Yeah,
on all fronts, more or less. I had a couple little gripes here and there, but
20 years, my goodness.
What's been your experience, Brandon? Did you see this when it released, or?
I saw this movie probably a couple years after it came out, and I thought it was great, and I forgot it. I just forgot it.
Yeah.
And then it was peak Star Wars Episode 3 was coming out, Lord of the Rings movies are coming out, a lot of movies are coming out by the time so it was easy for me to just forget this movie. And then I rewatched it maybe like 2 years ago randomly. I was like, I remember liking this movie, but I have no memory of the plot at all. There's a couple scenes. I watched it. I was like, wow, this is really fucking good. Camera work, I remember, like, wow, the camera work is really good in this movie. And then I forgot it again. And then I could not for the life of me remember this plot. I remember key scenes. So I think this is a great movie. I think it's a very good movie. I will go on record in saying that this is probably the greatest superhero origin story. There are certain things that this movie gets so right that I wish we got to see with the Marvel cinematic universe.
Hero and villain origin story, which is
so much heart in this story that but I wish I could remember the plot, because there's like this random third act where he starts using his powers to I don't want to get ahead of it, but anyways, that whole third act with that just kind of felt a little clunky. It kind of gets me amped up because it's like, oh, we're gonna go somewhere, and it never goes somewhere. It's like it begs a sequel. But anyways, I think it's a great movie. That was it. I've seen this movie I've seen this movie 3 times.
Awesome. Yeah.
think we all have. It sounded like we all kind of
saw
it like 3 times.
I feel like since I don't know, this was one I feel like when I was a kid we would kind of put on because we had like the VHS at home, so like I feel like this is one we would throw on, but again, like I wasn't really paying attention. I was too young to sort of understand the concept, so like I wouldn't really call that a watch, but I think my rewatch a couple years ago here was kind of like my first viewing. I love those movies where like, this one especially, I wouldn't say that it's not memorable, but you can forget a lot of the intricacies of like all the plot points and everything. So when you haven't watched it in a while and then you rewatch it, you're kind of like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. And even the twist at the end, even though you've watched it before, you're kind of like, oh shit, I kind of forgot how this twist happens,
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So like it was cool re-experiencing it sort of like the first time because like I knew that Elijah was behind it the whole time, but I kind of forgot how it all came together at the end. So I thought that was cool. Cool experience at rewatching it.
I kind of wasn't even paying attention that I was watching an M. Night Shyamalan movie, but for some reason I wasn't even thinking of the twist because I kind of already knew what was going to happen. But I didn't even think about it until I'm just scrolling through IMDb here. But Robin Wright is the Princess Bride. I'm like, I knew her from other things, and like I've seen her on.
Yeah, I definitely know her from other things, but I couldn't place it.
But House of Cards.
Yes.
Yep. Forrest Gump.
Yeah.
Yes, Forrest Gump is what
She's made a great career for herself. She's somebody that's just kind of like not a big name, but you know her, and she's been doing nothing but a good job. I'll also say this on the record: this is the most attractive I've found her. I think I like her as a brunette. I've always kind of like found her as like too strong of a jaw, but I know she's attractive. But this movie, I'm like, he's looking pretty damn good in this movie. But
what are you doing, David? Come on.
It is weird. Isn't it weird when you watch a movie and the main character has your name?
Right, David.
And somebody yells it out.
No, I never see my fucking name used. Nobody's Brandon. Brandon is not a name. And what's the name of the villain of your movie? Oh, his name's gonna be Brandon.
There's not many Erics. There's not many Erics either out there. So
I mean, you got
unless there's a Viking.
Magneto. Yeah, right, exactly.
Magneto is an Eric.
That's true.
We get that in like X-Men First Class. There's probably a bunch of that.
Eric sounds like a nerd in a TV show.
Famous movie Brandons.
Eric.
Well, we'll do a little bit of a plot rundown again. Like this movie,
who has not seen this movie? Because
I don't know, because
I think most people like it, right?
I guess I don't hear many people like talking about it. Like when you talk about Bruce Willis movies and like the cream of the crop in Bruce Willis movies, I feel like Unbreakable doesn't come up that often,
right?
Which is weird because like this is one of my favorites of his,
Yeah, and it's it doesn't come up during like the superhero conversation
not at all.
Either. People talk about Blade, man. Blade was doing it before MCU. I'm like, yeah, Blade was really good, but holy shit, like Unbreakable is, I think, an excellent movie. It does the superhero thing because like it's so realistic. The dude doesn't know he has powers. He's in denial, and that guilt of that being that he thinks it's because of his marriage. Oh, I should have been a football player and not a family man. And he's been kind of hands off, riding this thing, just doing his own thing, going against what's really saying you're a hero. You're meant to do great things.
I think this is
it's a great story that
I think
at the end of the movie you're like, let's go.
It is a superhero movie, but I think it's a thriller first, and then it's like a superhero. I mean, the plot is
it's like storytelling and
but
the
like
music choices that they use,
right? But like, I feel like when you think of this movie, you're not like, oh wow, this is one of my favorite superhero movies. Like you just think it's a good movie. It's a good thriller.
It's treated like a thriller.
There's no CG, so it's not.
There's no CG.
Movie.
There's no like bombastic fight scenes or anything. No. Like you said, it's more grounded and realistic, which I really appreciate. Because like this feels like a story that could actually happen in real life. Like if superheroes were real, this is how it would sort of manifest and how we would discover them. Like it feels super realistic.
Hopefully not the.
Yeah, you probably be in your 40s and you realize.
Oh shit! Oh shit! I can bench fucking 350 pounds and not breaking a sweat.
Yeah.
I wonder. Like, can his skin be pierced? Like, has he ever been cut?
Well, Elijah was like,
careful not to show that stuff.
Yeah, because they were like, you know, he said he can't break any bones, or you know, he can't get hurt, but he can't. We didn't say he couldn't be killed, you know. So like,
yeah, well, he took a nasty spill off that deck.
I would say, well, that the main, you know, contributing factor to him struggling with that was the whole water thing. Which was cool how they worked in like his weakness. You know, that's his kryptonite.
Oh, they gave me fucking anxiety right there. That's part of like the thing I noticed about this movie, coming back to it compared to the Marvel stuff that comes out and the DC stuff that comes out, is that the way that M. Night used the camera in the scenes and the way that the dialogue written is, the way that it takes its time with a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
It made me actually care about the characters, like, and what happened, and I felt tension during the movie that I don't feel in like Marvel movies.
Yeah, great
I'm not
tension.
like
absolutely
distracted by some like showy over choreographed fight scene where I'm just like sitting back and being like, this is cool, man.
Right, eye
like,
candy.
It actually, like, you know, it's got every piece of it is specifically put there for that. Unlike like a Marvel movie where they gotta slide in like this character gets an action scene and this character gets an action
comedy
scene.
Action, what those are.
Combine them and like, so I think that like makes a lot of the scenes carry a lot more weight because, like, you know, in the train car scene in the beginning, where, you know, he's talking to the girl or whatnot, and every once in a while they'll go through like a tunnel or something, and you can tell that something fucked up is going to happen. There's that tension in the scene because every time they go through a tunnel, like everything gets dark and starts shaking a bit.
Yeah, it's very ominous.
Towards the end of it,
way too fast.
Towards the end of it, they start using the horn, and you can start hearing the horn in the background. There's a certain point where you hear it, and you're like, "Is that? Yeah, that horn's been going for a little while now. Like, what's going on here?" And then everybody catches on, and tragedy ensues. But you don't like you don't show that. You don't need to show that. You just I don't know.
I appreciated that.
To the next scene,
because like
move on with the movie.
I think that sort of reflects David's experience with the whole incident, because he's had a couple. I mean, he had the car crash with his wife when he was younger, and he like it's like he almost blocks these memories out of his head because, like you said, Brandon, he's in denial about what's actually going on.
Denial about it, yeah.
So like he completely like blocked the train scene out of his head, and we don't even see, like you said, we don't even see what happens. He kind of triggers the memories when he goes back to the train yard and sees the train like completely destroyed. Like I think I don't know if they actually show like his seat where he was sitting is just gone.
Seemed like
it's like because they focused on one part of the train. It's like
there's a big hole in the side of the train. I thought.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's probably where he was sitting, and he was just fucking thrown out of the train.
How could he possibly survive that without any injury? You know, I think the reveals are masterfully done in this. You know, and you don't even know that where it's building up with Elijah's whole angle here, but just the way that we learn, and the world building is fantastic because it's so relatable.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like you survive, and everyone's in that emergency room, and they're just like waiting, like what's gonna happen? And the inside, they're like, everyone fucking died. And then he had to like kind of walk out, the only survivor, and not a cut on him. That feeling, and then the way it like affected his relationship with his wife, where she's like, you don't know who is forcing this breakup, distancing between the couple. It seems like he's ready to leave, and it seems like he's kind of pushing this or something like that. But the way that she's like, I feel like this is a second chance, and these are, I don't know, it's like everything felt relatable. And when I watched the MCU movies, which is easy to pick on, you know, but I don't know, I just don't
part of it
care that much about. I love Iron Man, but I don't care that much about him. He's just like very charming.
the editing of that scene specifically, I had a note written down about the camera work here, is that it pans, I believe it comes out of the elevator and then it goes across the people, and it's just a one big long ass shot, and then it ends up coming
Long
around to the
shots, yeah.
kid, and then the kid runs by the camera, it turns around and then catches, and then the wife walks in frame. It's all one long ass
Yeah.
shot, and it doesn't feel like that keeps you in the moment, and it makes you,
It
it kind of
does.
immerses you in there because you're not cutting between like Tony Stark and Pepper Potts and
all the
I got
scenes
something to
take their
say.
time. Like
Yeah.
they're not rushing anything in this movie, which I can see maybe again an argument for like it being a little bit boring, but I think the way the story builds on top of each other, you know, with like you said, with each reveal,
Yeah, the
it keeps
reveals
you
are great.
engaged. It's not like even in the quieter moments. Like one of my favorite scenes in the movie is the bench press scene, because like
Yeah.
he just has this moment there with his son, and like because
The
his
son
son at
thinks
this
you
point
as a hero.
at this point the
I love
son
it.
is fully convinced
By the way,
that his dad is Superman.
good kid actor.
Oh yeah,
Fucking great.
absolutely.
He had a great kid actor in The Sixth Sense, and he has a great kid actor in this movie. So
Yeah, I
whoever
think
did the casting, good eye, because those kids are great.
the kid is a big part of this movie because like he is the one that's like that believes in him, that wants to
Especially the
think that
emotional,
he's a
yeah.
hero, and like
Love it.
specifically yeah in this scene he's like, you know, he's like David does the first bench press and he's like, how much you put on there, it's too heavy, and then the kid's like, okay, I'll take some off. So he benches again. He's like, how much did you take off? He's like, I lied. I put more on. And then they just keep adding more. And I love the part where he's like, you know, how much is it? And all of it. And then David's like, what else can we add? Like that. It's such a cool scene where he's slowly realizing that he's capable of more than he ever thought that he was, and he's finally realizing, hey, maybe there is something different about me, you know?
Right. And it's just a good message in general, just like a father and son moment, you know, like you always are pushing the beliefs on your kid, right? You can be something better. You can be more than this, but like having the son, having the dad say, "No, dad, you're special."
Mm-hmm.
You know, I like that's just like I don't know. Yeah, one of my favorite scenes. Absolutely, Dave. Did you have like a favorite scene in this movie, or was it
I
that
don't
scene?
know one specifically. That I mean, that was a good one. Just I wanted to geek out on some of these shots real quick.
Go for
Oh,
it.
I
please,
mean, a
yeah.
couple
All my
scenes that I
notes were
wanted to
just on
point out.
like the train scene when they just going
Go
between
between the
seats.
seats.
Yep.
Yes.
Great. It's great. It's like great. Yeah.
It says that I found this on IMDb. Over 30 of the scenes were shot in one take. Like you have the restaurant when they go out on a date and it starts way
That was
far
cool.
back, and the
That was
entire
beautifully
scene
shot.
just takes place in a long pan in.
Mhm.
The opening scene with glass is like they use double mirrors, I believe, in that one because
Okay.
like they're looking at a guy in a mirror who's bouncing off of a mirror that's going outside, and you know glass is being born, right?
Yep. Okay.
There's the mirror with
Okay.
him, the one with him, his reflection in the TV.
Yep.
Which when he wants to stay inside, I don't want to fucking go outside and break a bone, which I don't fucking blame the poor
Got
kid.
it. Yeah.
I feel so bad for him.
Oh,
Like
okay.
it
I
builds
didn't
such
catch
good
that.
sympathy for him.
Yeah.
Like
Which
Nobody
is
wants
the
to
whole
see a
he goes
weak
through.
kid.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's sad.
I
He lived his whole life.
love
Yeah,
that
yeah.
about the character of Elijah, because throughout this entire movie, and it works really well with the twist, because like you're supposed to empathize with this character. I mean, this fucking kid was born with
We meet him.
glass
We
bones.
meet the
It's
villain.
the opening
I know
scene.
he's the villain, but we meet him first. We meet him first before we don't even meet like the young version of our hero till much later. We're
Yeah.
introduced with the birth of our villain.
And like, yeah, that first scene is so powerful too, because like I don't know who the dude was. I don't know if he was a doctor or who he was. Because there was
That came in.
the other guy that came in and was
Yeah.
like basically like, I've never seen anything like this before.
You drop this baby?
Yeah.
He's got broken bones.
Like,
It's
the
screaming in
doctor's like, what are
pain.
you talking about? You know, like
How
of
dare
course
you?
not.
Right, yeah.
And then he's
Right.
like,
And this is I don't know what to tell you.
both of his
Yeah.
arms and both of his legs are broken. I'm like, what the fuck? Like that's such a powerful way to open the movie, especially with this character. Because like right off the bat, you're empathizing with him. Like, shit, this baby is fucked up and it's gonna be fucked up the rest of its life. You know, so like you're already set up to feel bad for this guy. And then throughout the whole movie, there isn't I mean, I rewatched it. I kind of want to rewatch it again to see if there's any hints at all that he was responsible or behind, you know, the tragedies. Because like
he mentions them, I think twice.
He does mention them. Like he's definitely obsessive about it.
No.
What?
No, he is the culprit.
No, I'm saying like, I was saying like throughout the movie, if there was any hints,
the scenes that gave that away,
right,
that he
exactly
was the one causing all these.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh,
I was trying to see like if there was any hint of that before the big reveal at the end, because like,
I think there were a couple. Like he mentioned,
that's a good question.
He mentioned those specific 3 accidents when he went and visited Audrey, and I believe he mentioned those 3 same ones when he was introducing
but
Dave.
he's just obsessive about finding.
Right. Yeah, and you can tell he's crazy.
Yeah.
He's obsessive. Yep.
Probably would be a little bit crazy, yeah.
I mean, he's spending, like he said, he's spending basically his entire life inside or in a wheelchair when he fucking gets injured, or like, you know, so like, got to do something with this time.
Yeah. Again, relatable villain too. Dave, going back to shots though, right?
Yeah.
Did you? I like how we're introduced. So the train, is about. You know that they're gonna die. Well, we don't know the first time, but we all know that they're gonna die in that train.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of seeing the explosion, which is what most movies would do, you know, this crazy CG. Oh my god, you know, right? Instead of showing that, cut to the son. And the son's just hanging out in the living room. He's watching TV, but he's hanging upside down on the couch or chair or whatever, watching the TV. So 2 things are happening. One, it's just a cool shot. It's just a cool shot. He's playing with the camera.
And you used to do that when I used to do that when I was a kid. Fucking hang upside down on the couch.
Oh my god, of course I did.
Watch TV.
Dizzy.
Yep.
Yeah, of course. And then but that's also, we reveal the next moment, like, hey, there's a train accident and everyone's dead. And the kid's like, oh my god. So, you know, he's like, I think that's my dad's on that train or whatever. So
like, yeah, he knew his dad was on a train, and then he went over and was like, that's the same number.
Yeah, so just an interesting shot, just in general. But yeah, the camera work is so cool.
I think the one
of the shots. What was it?
When we go back to David getting in the ER.
Oh, in the foreground with the guy dying. In the
foreground, you have a guy in surgery that's the only other survivor of the thing, and as they're interviewing him, he's looking at the body, which is right in front of us, but you can see them performing surgery, trying to save this person's life, who I believe dies during the scene, I'm guessing.
It's not me, he's about to die.
I mean, he's the sole survivor. Yep.
So
yeah, and you see
just like fucked up.
Like in the foreground, you see slowly that pool of blood start to form, and then like the heart rate monitor start to go up. You know, so like this person's not gonna make it.
Bleeding
nice
out.
Nice little slow zoom after that to just frame David talking to the doctor. There's so many cool things that they did.
Another good one was when Elijah got his first comic and he's opening the present, and it's revealed because it's upside down at first, so it's you know, he can't really see exactly what it is, and then they do that shot where he's turning the comic, and then the big reveal, which
that one was. It was so set though, because like, what kid opens up a comic book and goes,
yeah,
he's very scared of breaking his wrist.
Yeah, I didn't think about that.
I don't know. Let's see. There was the falling down the stair scene, like that.
Oh my god, that was very tense.
Because it went almost like first.
The music was like
second. First off, if your bones are made of glass, take your goddamn time on the steps, dude. You don't
chasing after the guy.
He was so obsessed.
Yeah,
he needed to know if because again, going back to what's cool about the David character,
you can go down them, but just chill the fuck out.
He can't. He was pushing himself beyond. That's how he knows he's fragile, but he pushed himself. He was so excited.
And that guy sucked. That guy sucked because he looked back at him after Elijah fell down the stairs and was fucking writhing in pain, and he just looked at him and
had a
hopped
gun
the
on him
fucking gate.
Yeah, but he looked like he was trouble anyways.
Peace out, bro.
Right. See ya.
Who brings a gun into a football game? Like,
but isn't that
Causes some
cool that
trouble.
like we learned that he's like
Oh.
super strong? He's never been sick. Like he's like, is he invincible? We don't know. But then we're learning like these other things. Like he's got another ability. He's got this thing where he can touch people, and he can sense if they've done bad things.
Would you say that Would you say that he has a sixth sense?
Definitely has a sixth sense for sure. But like it's interesting that like they didn't stick to one ability. Like they could have made a whole movie with just him not being able to be hurt, but they decided to give him more abilities. And the fact that he can just open up his hands and touch people and find like, yeah, some people are scumbags, like yelling at their kids or stealing watches or whatever. You know, this kid clearly raped a drunk girl and he looked like a nice boy, like obviously trash. But this guy broke into somebody's house, killed somebody, and like captured like the rest of the people in the house. So like
that was a pretty violent crime to just stumble upon.
Yeah, it's fucked up.
Yeah.
Well, it looks like like he was like an escaped convict or something because he had like an orange jumpsuit on.
Yeah,
like I said, this is the clunky part of the story where like we're just jolted. We're like, it's cool that he's going to find out what he's capable of, but usually in the movie, they do this a couple times. They did it just once. It just felt very like, all right, and then it just kind of ends right after this.
The end
wraps it up. So
was very, I don't know. I thought it was anticlimactic the way that it, like, you got 2 sentences and then all of a sudden it's just like boom, done.
Yeah, this movie. Yeah, I don't know. It's
not a bad ending, but it's a clunky ending.
It's tight. It's only like 90 minutes long. So like it's got a story to tell in a pretty short amount of time. And like I think it could have been, like you said, it could have been a little bit longer. I kind of hate movies that end on like
a couple more people.
Yeah. Especially
fucking Spider-Man.
Cuz like I don't know, I feel like movies based on true stories always do that, where they end with like the sentence of telling you what happened after the fact. But like, if it's just a fictional movie, just show what happens. Don't just end it and be like, "This is what happened after this scene."
Oh, I know. It's like the end of a TV show or like a sitcom or something like that. I did not like that.
It was weird.
Pause and then
the big twist at the end, which I kind of like that it just like twisted and then like peace, I'm out.
I do like that though. Yeah.
It was kind of like it kind of gave the twist a little bit more, but like it, like those movies where you sit and while you're watching the credits and you're still trying to fucking figure things out and you're still trying to put the pieces together.
Yeah, even if it ended,
what did I see?
Even if it ended there with David walking out of the store and then no sentences, you can infer what happens next. You don't have to say David went to get the authorities and then Elijah was in the insane asylum. Why can't I say that? Insane asylum.
Why don't you just punch him right in the face?
Yeah.
Break his fucking glass jaw.
Yeah, break his face.
Oh my god.
And then just be like, oops, he fell over. I guess I'm not a hero. Womp womp.
Yeah, right. No.
That could be a nod to something I don't know. Like it seemed like a love letter to comic book fans at the same time.
Yeah.
And I don't read comic books, but just like the whole treatment of them. There's a lot of cool, like that comic book scene was really cool. I like when the guy's like trying to kick out Glass and Glass is having like this epiphany or something. I don't know what he was just like done. I don't know.
Well, he was mad at that point. He was like, he had given up because his entire purpose in his life was to find this hero. And for this hero to to be like a hero in the comic books, using his powers to protect people and help people. But David didn't want to believe it. He basically said, "Get out of my life. Don't talk, don't contact my family again."
Oh, okay.
So like after that scene, Elijah had just kind of given up. So he was sort of like just jaded a little bit, and so he didn't really care anymore because his entire purpose in life was to find this person, and he finally did it, but he didn't live up to expectations.
That makes sense. Yeah, he's really bummed out, but I like the camera shot. It's like low, and this guy's like rolling him out, but like he keeps like getting upset and like purposely like crashing into the thing. I don't know. That's just like another long take, a really cool shot. I like that one. Sure,
that was cool.
There's creativity with the camera.
Yeah, it really was. I found a couple clunky spots in the and probably end of second act, beginning of the third one, where
Yeah.
like the carrying the wife up the steps was like a weirdly awkward, like I don't know.
Again, I
That was
think
a
it's a
long
nod
shot.
to comic books.
Yeah,
I think that's like a scene. It
it just
felt
was
significant. Didn't hit with me either,
Yeah.
the way that
but
she
it
was
felt
laying was
significant.
just like odd that you could tell like it's a dummy in front of it. I don't know. It just didn't. Something was off there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There,
I don't know. I
the
liked
weird hallway
I
conversations.
liked the significance of the scene in terms of the story, but yeah, the way it was shot
Yep.
was sort of weird.
Yep. Yeah.
Because like, yeah, I did like that. You know, I mean, the whole reason and the whole distance between them, it seemed like, was like, I mean, even David said it himself. Like, he wakes up every day with this sadness, and he doesn't really know
And
why. Um,
right.
but he knows that something's not right, or that he's, you know, not that he's like, he doesn't know that he's destined for a greater purpose, but that's like what he feels like, you know, but he doesn't know why he's feeling that way. So like
Yeah.
once he finally discovers this and like finally accepts like, hey, I have these powers. Hey, I can actually do something to help people and, you know, protect people, potentially
Yeah, dude.
change the course of
And
things. Like it wakes him up and he finally realizes his purpose in life too. So like that goes back to both of them. Like David was sort of lost with his purpose in life and he found it. Elijah helped him find it. And Elijah was searching for this, you know, he had this purpose his whole life and David helped him find it, but you know, sort of in that
The
the
opposites.
dichotomy there, like the
That's
good
in
and
the
evil.
comic book.
Yep,
Yeah, you got the
exactly.
good guy and the bad guy. So yeah,
yeah.
I enjoyed it. I definitely want to see the next two, but
Split is really good.
you guys
Uh,
got me a
I
little trepidatious
I'd be
about what I'm gonna
excited for
walk into.
Split. Glass, I want to watch it again now that I've seen
Yeah.
Unbreakable again, but I remember not be I don't know. I remember the conclusion kind of ending on a wet fart there.
This being one of M Night's first movies, like he may like I don't know. I feel like he was kind of trying to like show off with all his camera stuff and all his fancy stuff that he's doing. But maybe it's just because it's one of his first ones. He was a little more adventurous with this one. Maybe as towards the later ones, he just wanted to put out like a finish his story. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah,
Could be
potentially.
anything.
So I want to talk about some creative choices that he made or his team made. Specifically, David in the third act, I thought was a cool looking hero.
Mhm.
Mm.
So he's going out into the rain. We just learned that water's his weakness, and he goes out there and he has this like raincoat on. And he doesn't talk, and he just walks slowly in the shadows. I don't know. I thought the way he moved was just like he's just kind of scoping things out. That's just like kind of what he does anyways. He's not like
Mhm.
going out like fun punching or using a gun or anything. He just kind of just walks around, just kind of senses things. But yeah, he's tracking this guy, and I just thought like, oh, he just looks cool. He just looks
It's a very
like
good
this.
silhouette as he's
And that
standing
whole like
there.
the third act. While it's not my favorite part of the movie, I think the first two are much better than the third act.
Mhm.
But once he's tracking this guy, I'm thinking, wow, you know what would be really cool? Unbreakable would be a great TV series where he is going out looking for people. And just give us like 10 episodes of this guy like hunting down these people and taking them out. It's a cool like I feel like this movie builds up to be something and then it just never it should have had a sequel, like a
Yeah.
proper sequel, not the split
I
later on. I think like we could have had another one. Like what other abilities do you have? What are you going to do? And maybe that's for our imagination.
yeah.
Like the Matrix,
Yeah.
like we're not supposed to see what happens after Neo figures out the Matrix and starts fighting the bad guys. Maybe we're not supposed to see that. But this movie, again, I think is really good because it makes me want to see more of David. Like now that he's knows it, like, man, I can do pretty much like when he's taking that guy at the end, he's taking that guy's clearly bigger than him, clearly
I mean,
stronger
yeah,
than
he's
him in every
huge.
way.
Yeah.
But he's over his throat and he's just choking him. And that guy is slamming him in the walls. And you can see these holes in the walls. And I'm like, this is a cool character where like he's smaller then everyone, not small guy, but he's smaller than these guys, but he can take them out because he's just kind of immortal. Like he can't be killed. Like he can't be just,
as far as we know.
we don't know. Maybe he can be shot, but I don't know. I just thought that was cool just seeing him. It's not like he's an ultimate fighter and he's using the environment and he's like doing like these things. He's like doesn't talk. He just walks in there with a fucking trench coat, gets his ass kicked around but a little bit. But then once he gets to the guy, he starts choking him. It's like that's it. There's nothing you can do. He's gonna choke you to death. There's nothing you could do to this guy.
Which also
I thought it was cool.
Another cool shot in that, because you'll notice that in regular comic book movies, they would be shooting on like one person and they do a lot of cuts between the two as they're fighting. This one was shot from above, like kind of in the corner as he's choking him out. Like that whole scene was all just one big one. And right before it, when he first gets into that room, there's a shot from outside on the porch where they have the curtain in front of the window.
Yeah.
And the wind blows the curtain open, and every time it does, he's like a little bit closer. It looks just like a comic book frame. It's so fucking cool.
Yeah.
I feel like I didn't have a as big of a problem with the third act, only because like I'm trying to imagine how they would have done it in a good way to like show more of these type of like scenes where he's taking on these like, I don't know, whatever, bad people or whatever, like it feels like he did this one thing. I don't know, like I don't think he's gonna be going out every single night and looking for people to fucking take down. I feel like this is like he's not
at first.
Maybe.
I don't know. It seems like he's happy.
For blood.
He felt good killing that bad guy. Like he says, like true. I feel like I feel great. And I love the reveal. Like his son believes him so much, but he had a gun on him. Like, Dad, I will shoot you, to prove that you are like a superhero.
Mm-hmm.
But when he finds out, he has but I like the orange juice scene where the kid's drinking this orange juice and just watching this kid, just the way he's just sitting there and just whatever, hanging out, and then you're looking at the orange juice and then he just slides the paper, and it's just like that's a cool. Wait, so your dad help but fucking is a
smile
superhero
in that scene. Like, if you're not smiling, like, I was kind of chuckling to myself, and the kids
so
like
modest.
all wide-eyed. Just the communication between the two of them was super good there.
Yeah, very good father-son.
Like, thank you for believing me, son. Basically, So it's just cool that it's you. Like I said, it's reversed. Like the son is the one that believes in the dad. He's always, like I don't know. It's just funny because like he never believed in himself. He's like, I'm not special. He kept avoiding this feeling and lost and like, why am I sad and depressed? It's my marriage, it's whatever. It's like it's not actually. It's everything is great. You're just in denial that you're meant to be something special, and it's okay. And you just happen to be a superhero, But and him being a security guard, it was cool. I don't know. I just thought that was cool. He just got a hunch like that guy. He looks like he would have a knife or a gun on him. I don't know. It's like, how do you know how to do that? It's like, oh, it's just gonna punch.
It's weird. Like he
might have more abilities.
He starts to lean into it. You see the visions, but like I'm wondering, like, has he been seeing visions this whole time and he just didn't know what they were, or?
Yeah, that's a good point because he always
his super talent.
Like I think they manifest. Well, I guess they are visions to him because like he said he sees. He's like with the first guy with the gun. He's like, I saw. I have this feeling that it's a silver handgun with a black grip or whatever. So like. I don't know if like we're just seeing the scenes or if but I'm just saying like I don't know if he's having visions in his head or if it's more of just like this instinctual feeling that he has that guides him towards his
right. Like it's like the force where like you don't realize you have the force and you're just like if you like no focus on it and like holy shit I can do way more than I realized. I just never knew how to use it.
Right.
But when Elijah said bro, I don't know if you noticed this, but you know that you have like oh my god I have this incredible ability.
Mm-hmm.
You'll be like that.
Yeah. Or he could have just not been such a wuss and he could have fucking become a pro athlete. And imagine the guy, the goddamn running back that he could have been if he was a person that could not get hurt.
But that's what Glass says.
Trucking motherfuckers.
You knew you could have been that. Mm-hmm. You knew you were special and unbeatable and you are going to be a pro. and everybody must have known this about you. You're like the star quarterback. You're destined for great things, and you walk away. But he chose love, but he was in denial not only of his abilities, but like his love, and he was like blind. He just the way he handled it. Obviously, the
It was
accident
weird
happened, and that's
though.
what we said. You use that to escape
Yeah,
this
use it
life
as an
because you couldn't figure
excuse.
out what you wanted. I
Mhm.
want to be I want to be in love with her and be a husband. But everybody knows I'm destined to be because obviously I'm going to be good in football because I can't get hurt. So he just like kind of fell into that. But I don't know. It's just it's well written, but the fact that he had that accident, he used it, and Elijah calls it out, but he used that as like an excuse. It's like, no, I was lucky, and I don't know. We should
That's
probably
why I don't
marry.
know.
He's
That's why
lying
it's
to
such a
himself.
cool movie because it's like the fact that he doesn't start like that, and he's not like a superhero, like
He's
superhero.
modest.
Yeah.
So that's cool. I mean, great
He's
movie
humble.
overall.
Yeah.
I had a great time. So thank you.
Is this the greatest twist in a superhero movie that ever? Yeah, I feel like there's not many twists in superhero movies. Sort of
I
just
mean,
like
Like, is the snap?
I
Is
mean, Iron
the
Man had a
Thanos
twist,
snap
but
a twist? Like,
that's not a
and then
twist. No,
everybody
but
fucking
like
dies.
in Iron Man, what's his face? Isaiah or Isaac or whatever. I forget what his
oh
name
yeah,
is.
the heel
Goes
turn there.
against, you know, um,
You got the Guardian Galaxy
Captain America
dad.
had
Mm.
Red Skull,
Hmm.
President of the Galaxy Dad. Yeah, they have them. The fact that none of them stand out, you know. Um, I'm trying to think if the Dark Knight had any with Christopher Nolan. Um, I mean, Ra's al Ghul's daughter is in the third one. Oh, but like she's a villain anyways. It didn't really matter.
What about Luke? I am
Um,
your father.
I would say
There you go.
not as good.
No.
Yeah, but in superhero movies, I would say Into the Spider-Verse, the uncle being the villain, that was like, oh
Oh
shit,
Oh,
yeah.
that was a good one.
Mm.
Oh
That's
yeah.
not bad. That's up there, but not. I would say this is definitely better
Yeah.
because you feel for Elijah.
Yeah.
You're
Throughout the whole
introduced to him as
movie.
a baby,
Yep.
and a kid, and he's got a great backstory, and
Yeah.
yeah.
I knew he was bad, but it was that handshake at the end. That was a good way to pull it over. 'Cause,
Hmm.
well, like, I guess they never touched at all during any of the
Right.
scenes. I was thinking about going back and looking and like, they didn't ever touched hands when they were
Hmm.
handing something. He was handing him the ticket at the game or something or nothing. But
Yeah, because that's what Elijah wanted. He wanted to get caught because he had fulfilled his purpose.
well, he
Get
knew,
out.
this is the point where we shake hands.
Yep. He's like, this is it. Like he did his job. He fulfilled his purpose. So he's like, yeah, this is sort of it for me. Because like, I mean, he could have. I mean, maybe he would have gotten caught eventually, but like, it seemed like nobody knew he was behind all of these acts of terrorism, even though in his fucking back of his comic book shop he
I
has
know,
like
bro. Your
evidence
mom doesn't go
lying
back to be like,
out.
Elijah, honey. So
There's like a
I
half-built
gotta ask a
bomb on
question.
his desk. Like,
I
what the fuck?
know.
It's just, yeah.
He literally has blueprints next to like articles. I
Yeah.
mean, come on.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's a weird lair. The comic book shop though is a lair.
Yeah.
What did you
That's
think of
kinda-
his hair? Did you? I thought it was great looking.
I liked
Like,
he
yeah,
had a
cool-
great
he had
look
a
in
cool-
this movie because like
It's a
He had a
good
cool
the
looking.
purple,
villain
like
look.
I like his like main
Yep, the
color was
purple, yep.
purple, and he had. You see the inside like of his car? It was like the
Yeah,
leather
Yeah, it's all
bubbles.
padded.
Yeah, like that was
So
kind of cool. Yeah, he's got some style, Mr. Glass.
Dude's
there.
This
gotta have
movie could
a
probably benefit from
bankroll.
a director's cut. Extended like I know it has long scenes, but just more scenes. Why not? If you're a fan of this movie, give us more of it, and I would be curious to see what he's got. Because
I
I
was
think the dude
thinking-
was in the zone when this came out. I mean,
Yeah,
Like,
you know,
it's a good thing that he owns an art gallery because he's got to be rich as fuck because he's getting like custom cars made for all his
he's smart.
stuff.
yeah,
He's not
And
strong.
then-
He's smart. He had to rely on his brain.
exactly.
Well, then, like, what kind of insurance does like? I found myself thinking about what kind of insurance does Mr. Glass have?
He's got to have the best.
He's got some
constantly
sort of
breaking
weird
bones.
degenerative disease where his bones break all the time, and he's got to be at the doctor fucking constantly.
Well, he said he had like 54 breaks throughout his entire life. Like, that's insane.
Got to have like a high deductible, copay. So I was thinking about the logistics of it. Like, I'm glad he's making a lot of money because stub your toe and you break your foot. Like, that seems like an expensive way to go through life. I don't know.
Yeah,
sorry to bring us back to reality.
There's
so much reality in this movie.
Good movie, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, is there any closing comments, I guess, on this one?
No,
yeah.
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say
it's one of those movies you would probably recommend. Like, hey, I don't know if you've seen Unbreakable, but go back and watch that one.
Or if you haven't seen it in a while, fuck yeah.
There isn't anyone I wouldn't recommend this to. Fans of comic books would like this movie, and superheroes. Fans of thrillers would like this movie, and just fans of good movies will like this movie too. Like, I think it's definitely an easy one to recommend, especially since it's, runtime. It's on the shorter side. Bruce Willis. I mean, Bruce Willis, you can't go wrong.
Great. Yeah. He's so like soft-spoken in this movie.
Yeah.
He's in that soft-spoken era. It never like yells or he's like, he's very even keel.
Well, yeah.
I remember he yelled, "Put down the gun or I'm going to move to New York City."
That's true. When the kid was fucking...
Wouldn't
you yell too if your son was pointing a gun at you?
Like, even that shot, gonna be friends. Too. Like, this shot, too. Like, we didn't even talk about that one. But that, like, the kid comes in with the gun from off frame. You're, like, looking at David and the wife, like, talking. And then all of a sudden, it, like, pans out a little bit. And all of a sudden, the kid just picks up a fucking 6-shooter and just, like, points it.
A kid would do that.
Yeah,
a kid would think my dad's a superhero.
Prove it, man.
He's invincible.
I'll prove it to you.
I will prove it to him. I will shoot you.
Shoot him in the hand,
as a kid, that's how. I know, right? Like, let's yeah, right. I know.
What were shoot you right between the fucking eyeballs.
That whole scene, I would have handled that whole scene differently as a dad.
Yeah, I don't know. This is so good, though.
You don't believe me? I'll show you. Yeah. Well, moral of the story: don't let your kid know where your gun is. That's the whole lesson of this movie.
Also true.
But I think
be a hero to your son, I think, is what the message is.
There you
go. Your son can believe in you.
Yeah. Nice. Well, with that, we'll end this conversation here on Unbreakable, and we will be back with a little game. We're gonna do a little round of Metacritic Mayhem, M. Night Shyamalan edition.
Oh boy.
Yeah, should be interesting. We'll be back right after this. And we are back with a little round of Metacritic Mayhem, M. Night Shyamalan edition. So if you're not familiar with Metacritic Mayhem, basically I'm gonna pick 5 movies. It should go pretty quick. And whoever gets the most movies right, guessing the Metacritic score, either high or low, closest score wins, gets the point. So without further ado, let's begin. We'll see who go. We'll determine who goes first, though. I'm thinking of a number 1 through 10. Dave, what is it?
8.
Brandon.
7.
It was 6. So Brandon goes first. All
All
right. First M. Night Shyamalan movie we're starting with is, you guessed it, Unbreakable. What's the Metacritic score on Unbreakable?
$83.
Did he freeze?
All right. Dave?
83, really? Metacritic's usually tougher, right? I haven't played this in a while.
Yeah.
I thought Metacritic was just tougher. You said 83. That is a good guess. I'm going to go lower. I'm going to go with like a 76.
Well, Dave takes the point. It was 62. Yeah.
That's insane.
I know.
Wow.
Yeah.
62.
Metacritic's tough, man.
critics. I thought this would be something that critics would actually appreciate because of the the creativity with a lot of stuff in it. So that's kind of surprising.
Yep. All right, David, your turn. The Sixth Sense is the next movie. It's a Metacritic score for
that one was
The
hot
Sixth
shit.
Sense.
And that was the one right before this one.
Yes. Yep. It was in a year before 1999.
Oh.
We'll go a little higher. I'll go 82.
All right. Brandon?
88.
Would you believe that it's 64?
Wow.
Yeah, I know. It's insane.
That movie's lower?
I guess.
Yes. Now, listen, going forward, would you say that The Sixth Sense is M. Night Shyamalan's best movie?
Yes.
So with that in mind, going
Signs. So I could see Signs being up there with these two.
All right. Well, with that in mind, going forward, maybe this will inform some of the Metacritic scores for the next 3.
Yeah, I guess do get very very critical of critics get critical.
Yeah.
Of I don't know. I'm guessing of his one trick, not one trick pony, but his twist.
He's always got to have a twist
mechanic that he uses.
I have the twist.
Yep. Exactly. So yeah, Unbreakable 62, Sixth Sense 64. Dave is up to 2 points. Now Brandon, we just mentioned it. What is the Metacritic score for Signs?
54. No, 53.
All right, Dave, what say you?
53. I'm gonna go higher than that because I remember that movie being pretty good.
Yeah, I like Signs.
Swing away, Merle. I'll go. What did you say, Brandon?
53.
53. I'm gonna go higher. I'll go at least to 60. 60.
Damn, Dave almost nailed it right on the head. It was a 59.
Wow. That is too low. It's too low for these movies.
I know, man. It's crazy. All right. Well, Dave's already got 3 points, but we'll do the last two for.
We'll do it.
For shits and giggles.
For shits and giggles.
All right. What about Dave? Did you guys see The Happening with Mark Wahlberg?
I don't know.
Yes.
Yikes.
Yes. Yeah.
Well,
do we have a?
It's just bad acting. It's just bad acting, bad casting, bad acting. The story was. I didn't mind the idea.
The one-liner plot here: a science teacher, his wife, and a young girl struggle to survive a plague that causes those infected to commit suicide.
The science teacher is played by Mark Hollywood, Mark fucking Wahlberg. I'm like, what were you thinking?
Zoe Deschanel and John Leguizamo are also in it.
Good closet, man.
No shit.
Good closet. It's just like,
what year is this?
2008.
All right, so that's after all of these, who goes first? Is this me?
This is Dave's turn. Yes.
All right, so science teacher, some plagues. I'm gonna go probably.
It's the plants. It's the plants.
I'll go 51.
All right, Brandon.
48 was my 48 was my number.
All right. Well, Brandon, you hit on this one. It was a 34.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. You got the village up? The village up?
We'll do the village. Yeah, the village as well.
I've only seen it once. And I remember
me too.
It having 2 catches. And I thought that was really cool. And I thought I didn't see either of them coming.
I think I saw this also, but I was probably too young to also understand what was happening, so I don't really remember it. But I wouldn't mind watching it again. The synopsis is very vague. A series of events tests the beliefs of a small, isolated countryside village. all they give you.
Yeah, it does not give the twist in there.
Yeah, what say you, Brandon?
I saw this one at a drive-in.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to give it a 54.
All right, Dave.
That sounds pretty good. I'm gonna guess critics did not like this one either. I'll go down into the 40s. I'm gonna dip like a 47.
Ooh, close. 44.
Wow, dude. Really?
Yeah, it's crazy. Critics do not like Shyamalan.
Drinking a lot of that haterade.
All right, you got the rest of the Metacritic numbers on all of his movies. Can I hear them real quick? Because I'm surprised you didn't do Avatar, which is one of the worst movies
The Last Airbender was
I had to stop watching that.
It was a 20 for
a 20?
The Last
That's
Airbender.
Generous.
Yep. After Earth, you guys remember that one? I saw that one in theaters. That's the one with Will Smith and his son.
I didn't see it, but I remember I didn't I was like, Will Smith with his son, I don't need to see that.
The concept again was cool, but not a great movie.
What was it?
The concept or the
40.
score?
No, the score.
It was a 33.
33. Wow. Okay.
The Visit. Did you guys see The Visit?
I heard it was good. No, I haven't.
Dude, this is like a movie that my wife and I love just because it's so fucking hilarious. Like it's like a horror movie, but it's also really funny. Because basically, like these two kids visit their grandparents, but it turns out it's not actually their grandparents. Like that's the whatever. I just sort of gave away the twist, but increasingly disturbing events happen while they're visiting their grandparents. But like,
is it good?
It's worth a watch. I think it's worth a watch.
What's your
score? 55, which in the terms of Shyamalan's movies is on the higher end of the spectrum.
What did the Elevator one get?
Elevator?
Devil or whatever.
Oh, Devil? Was that
Devil,
Shyamalan?
Devil. Yeah.
Let's see.
I never saw that one. I just know the catch.
Let's see. Not on this list. It looks like a 44. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Man. So he never really had a big hit according to the critics.
No, so Sixth Sense was his highest at a 64. Split though, second highest at a 63. Split is good. I would definitely recommend watching that. Glass got a 43 on Metacritic, so not great, but I think they're
like the actor from Split too.
Yeah, James McAvoy. He's really
James
good.
McAvoy,
Yep.
He's very good.
And Anya Taylor-Joy is also in Split.
Right. Great actress.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yep. So that's M. Night Shyamalan for you. I like a lot of his movies, but I don't know. I feel like he gets dinged a lot because whenever he comes out with a movie, you know there's a twist. You know there's gonna be some sort of twist. That's his whole thing. So, but Unbreakable is definitely up there for me in terms of. I don't know. It might be like one of my favorites of his. I think I might like it more than The Sixth Sense. Maybe. It's tough.
What is the user review on that, real quick? Did you see it like on Rotten Tomatoes just before we wrap
for
this
The
up?
Sixth Sense?
Like, what? Yeah, no, not Sixth Sense.
Unbreakable. Let's see.
Yeah.
Unbreakable Rotten Tomatoes is.
Yeah, I'm curious.
It's a 70%.
It's gonna be 80s.
70% for critics, 77 for audience.
Okay. And then all right, I guess just give me the other one.
Sixth Sense.
Yeah.
Let's see. That is
80s.
That is an 86 for critics, 90 for audience.
Okay, so that seemed I align with that much more than Metacritic.
Yeah,
I don't know what's going on with Metacritic, but
definitely that's why it's tough. That's why Metacritic mayhem is mayhem, because you never know what you're gonna get over there.
They're so mean over.
Always go lower than you think.
Yeah, definitely. Right. Sorry. One of the most popular movies on Rotten Tomatoes now is a movie called My Old Ass. So that's on the Fresho-meter. It's a 90%. A 90%er.
Oh. Okay.
Coming of age.
My old
drama.
ass.
My old
can
ass.
relate.
Yeah. Anyways, let's wrap this shit up. If you want to follow us, you can follow us at Nomads of Fantasy on pretty much everything. You can go join us on Discord if you want to chat with us at the nomadsoffantasy.com/Discord. Can just go to the nomadsoffantasy.com for all your nomad needs. You'll find all the relevant links.
Somebody needs
episodes.
a sci-fi recommendation. You need an anime.
Listen,
review.
we got categorized episodes.
We've got it organized on our website. Trust us.
We got
our
guest
website
playlists.
is pretty slick.
We got merch.
Not steer you wrong.
We got all the links. We got links to whatmapgame.com. Guess your video game maps there. You got the YouTube channel, youtube.com/@nomadsoffantasy if you want to see our beautiful faces. But I think that's all I got for you boys this evening. Anything else before we wrap up? Nothing?
Nope.
Nada?
Don't shoot your friends.
Zilch? Don't shoot your friends?
Friends don't shoot each other.
Don't shoot your dad. Really, just don't shoot anybody. General rule of thumb. But with that, as always, safe travels, nomads.
Peace out.